Good evening, dear audience of Conflict and Resilience Research Institute Canada. I welcome all of you to today's episode number 18 on Project IDEA. IDEA stands for Identify, Demystify, and Empower Ukrainian and Russian diaspora to fight disinformation and propaganda on Ukraine war. The audience, before I introduce our guests and start our webinar, let me do the treaty recognition. Conflict and Resilience Research Institute Canada is located on original lands of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homelands of Métis Nation. We believe in the spirit of reconciliation, and we work together with our Indigenous communities in the spirit of collaboration. The audience, Project IDEA is funded by Department of Heritage under Digital Citizenship Contribution Program. It supports Government of Canada's three objectives. First, to help to develop tools and skills necessary to better equip Canadians in the face of disinformation and other online harms. It builds capacity to address disinformation and other related online harms. And finally, it empowers Canadians to take steps to mitigate against the potential impact of disinformation and other online harms and threats to our democracy and social cohesion. Project IDEA has three parts. First, analyze and determine trends in propaganda through artificial intelligence-driven tools, demystify propaganda through subject matter experts and diaspora, as we have two guests tonight, and finally, to empower young Ukrainian and Russian diaspora living in Canada to fight disinformation. The audience, we are grateful today to have two Ukrainian join this session. One is from Winnipeg, who arrived in July from Ukraine, and the other guest, she stayed briefly here and now is in one of the countries of Europe. And before I invite them, our intention today is to listen to their part of the stories and how they see disinformation and misinformation coming out of the war and how war has impacted their lives. So without further ado, let me welcome first Marina. And Marina is our first guest today who is going to share her ideas and thoughts about the subject topic. And then we'll invite Helena, and who is with us in Winnipeg. So Marina, please go ahead and you can speak now. Thank you.
Is Marina Franco, and I lived in Canada for over 5 years, and just recently I moved out of Canada. It happened after the war started. So just when the war started, I felt very hard. It was very hard for me because I was living so far from Ukraine and far from everyone. It affected me in every each way, and uh, as I could see everything what happens, and I knew that I cannot help. I just one of my decisions, one of the reasons of this decision to move out of Canada was because I wanted to live closer to Ukraine, and but of course it's the most important if I would help to Ukrainian forces to help financially. But what is the worst? It's of course the lost lives of how many people were killed during this war, and especially in Mariupol. This city was completely destroyed. It's destroyed totally, and they keep bombing other cities too. I'm very I'm still worried about my city. I'm from Chernivtsi, but I'm happy as that my city was not bombed before, and thanks God about this. And I hope for the future it's not gonna happen. But still many people they went for this war and they died from my city and from the province, my province also. And also, what is very bad that disinformation from Russian side, it's very terrible because everything it's it's just so off and doesn't even sounds right, doesn't sound logical because of first of all it's about they say about neo-Nazis that this um so they say about the neo-Nazi this is the how they call Ukrainian forces, the organization that was protecting Ukrainian territories from Russian occupiers. That's how they called them. It's just because we cannot protect ourselves. So, and even during this war, they do not allow us to protect ourselves. And I was hearing about what Putin was claiming that, and he was threatening that if Ukrainians will protect the country, he was threatening with nuclear bombs. And this is, and I, I don't understand that. I think
Marina, yeah, yeah, please continue. Your voice, your microphone little had trouble before. So continue now. We can hear you well. Go ahead, please.
I'm so sorry. Yes, and I could see that some people believe in Russian propaganda because I could hear that people speak about that propaganda and they truly believe in this neo-Nazi and about other like what Russia says that Russian military they were how to placing the army between like right in the living areas of the cities, and they were hiding in institutions, governmental institutions and everything. And this is the reason why Russia keeps bombing every each city and uh, the houses where people live. This is the genocide. This is not just the this is not it's against the rules how to just lead the war. And Russia, it doesn't Russia never, if you can see in history, Russia does not ever follow the rules. And if people know the history, maybe some parts of the history were not included in what people like from other countries what they learn in a school. But maybe I think it should, because they would know about what was happening in Ukraine during many centuries ago. It was many people were dying from Russian government, and it was not from the bombs, but it was different things. It was a genocide with the artificial famine. It was people were sent to Siberia for speaking in Ukrainian, for writing in Ukrainian. Our writers were sent to Siberia, and many died there, right there, and or they were just killed in their own in their cities, and it just was made look like it was a suicide. And this is just how Russian government was always acting. And Ukraine, it was just because Ukraine is a neighbor of Russia. It's every time happens that many people in Ukraine they die from Russia.
Okay, thank you, Marina. We have understood your views about the war, and you have moved to Spain now from Canada just to be close with your family and to help Ukraine as best as you can. And also, you have touched about the history of Ukraine and Russia a bit. Thank you so much. So please hang on. Let us go to Helena and hear from her perspective. And the audience, as I've already informed you, she arrived in Canada just a couple of months ago. So she has quite a bit of memory in terms of war itself. So, Helena, please go ahead. You are free to speak now.
Hi, my name is Helena Hontaruk. I'm from a very nice city, Ternopil. It's West Ukraine. We live at this city all time before war, and when war come, I can believe it. This because we have good life. I have good family, good work. I have all good. But after when war come, my brother move protect. He sold it. He sold it. He protect Ukraine. I'm very scared because it's every day I'm very scared for him. We come in Canada July, but when we leave at Ukraine in April. It was 8 April. I remember this day because this day it's bomb come in Ternopil, and I saw, and it was very careful. And the next day we take bags and just move. First station it was Poland. Next station it was Lithuania, because my husband is no Ukrainian, he's Lithuanian, and we come Lithuanian. Maybe 1 month and couple weeks we live it in Lithuania. And in this all time we make visa in Canada because we very scared when Russians sold that occupation nuclear station. It's Enerhodar, and I think it's Canada. It's very good country. We come Canada July, and this good. I'm happy. I'm happy now, but I'm scared. My family, my mom is live at Ternopil. My dad, my brother, all my family not come.
Thank you, Helena. Absolutely, we understand the stress that you are going through, having your brother and most of the family members still in Ukraine. We deeply share your worry as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about your experience in consuming information that is coming from the war itself. And now we understand that things are changing on ground, and Ukrainian defense forces, they are gaining ground. They have recaptured many of the towns. And since the war is changing, what kind of information you are seeing in the social media or mainstream media, especially? I will ask first Marina, because she is living in Spain, one of the European nations which is not involved in any kind of conflict. So, Marina, can you tell our audience the type of information that you are seeing in various social media about the changing nature of the war?
So the most like the first information that is posted on social medias, it's about where which city is being bombed. It's the first, or about the warning for people to hide. They also cast that information, and about what happened, and after what happened they post pictures, and about also it's about how many people died, and how many people are missing, because they do not know, like they cannot count exactly how many people died, because it's not it cannot be so clear. So and about um, the decisions that our government makes, and our also lately is, for this past month, like October, and the last month in September, I'm seeing the progress, how our Ukrainian forces took back our territories, and I was just so happy about this, and about um, I was happy, and I just wished that Russia wouldn't um, revenge with bombing. After that, like they also can like they should take this more in I don't know how to say, more civilized way. I don't know, but I know they just like Russian government, they're not civilized, and especially Putin, and uh, people who are um, who with him, who are encouraging the war, and I just don't understand this. This is like we live in 21st century, and this is happening. It's just like it's beyond my understanding. I'm sorry. Yeah, and many other different information about how Russia is spreading disinformation against us, and they also try uh, to put a fear on Ukrainians, so they would give up, and they also were trying like to spread some information that Zelensky, he left the country, and Ukrainian forces have no the leader, they have nobody to listen to, and they all disorganized, and they also given up the war. But it was not true, and Zelensky, he never left the country during the war. And in the beginning, they were spreading such a ridiculous lies about Zelensky also, and that he is Nazi too, but he is actually Jewish, so this is impossible that a person with Jewish roots can be a Nazi. So there is so many things that they spread. They just like, I think they just don't realize themselves uh, how they sound, how ridiculous it sounds.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, dear audience. Let me welcome Karina Denisiuk. She's our consultant in Project Idea. Karina, welcome back again. So Karina is going to help us today a bit of acting as a bridge between us and both our guests if they are uncomfortable speaking English. So Karina, feel free to jump in if you think you need to help us in terms of interpretation. So, Marina, before I go back to Halina, my question is about what we are hearing in the West is about the threat of nuclear war. And do you see disinformation pertaining to nuclear war uh, pretty much in everywhere in Ukraine? And is it something that is creating a lot of fear on ground? What do you see in terms of nuclear, threat that Russia is kind of putting up almost every day basis?
I see that it does work out because Ukrainian people, they still fight against Russian army and occupiers. And I was living in September, for the month of September, I was living in Ukraine, in my home city, and I was also watching the news there, Ukrainian news, and there was so many sad news about everything, but also about that the threats and everything. And I could see that Ukrainian people, they don't give up, and this threats, they don't and I know that it works for U.S. government, but still they help us. They help Ukraine with weapons because it's. I think they just understand that if Russia wins, it's gonna be worse. They just he won't stop. He will not stop with Ukraine, and you never know what to expect next after that.
Hmm. Thank you so much. Now coming back to Halina, and so Halina, we have Karina with us. So if you want, if you're comfortable, speak in Ukrainian because Karina will interpret your statement. So feel free to speak in your own language. Not a problem. My question to you, Halina, now, is about what do you see when, because you are living in Canada now, and there are a lot of information coming on Ukraine war from various sources, social media and others, and you are not getting first-hand information as you would have gotten it when back in Ukraine. So what do you think the major problems in terms of getting information, proper information, not mis and disinformation about the war, about what is happening on ground? Karina, do you want to kindly translate it in Ukrainian, please?
Okay. Так як ви слухаєте інформацію з різних істочників, якщо так як ви чуєте інформацію з різних випадків, як на вашу думку, оце все впливає на вас, і це як ви можете розглядіти, де інформація правдива, а де є неправдива інформація?
Я слухаю тільки українські офіційні дані,
Угу.
дані від Зеленського напряму від Офісу президента. І я слухаю тільки те, що каже мій брат. Я з братом зідзвонююся, він на війні, я вже казала до цього. Я з ним зідзвонююся майже кожен день, якщо він може спілкуватися, тому що є такі дні, коли він без зв'язку, і буває таке, що тиждень без зв'язку. І я з ним спілкуюся, а він зараз якраз він визволяв Харківщину, це Балаклея, Куп'янськ, він там скрізь був, і він знає, знаєте, офіційно, навіть він, скажу так, він знає інформацію ту зараз, яку ще завтра будуть робити офіційною.
Oh, perfect. I'm following official information of Zelensky president because our president Zelensky each morning, each evening, he actually speaking to people and giving updates. Also, Halina has own brother. He in the war, and her own brother actually he was participating when they was liberating city Kupiansk, city Balakleya. It's on Kherson, Kharkov region, and he said like he's speaking with Helena like often, because some days he cannot they cannot be connected because due to the war. So he speaks, and often Helena even receiving information. This is actually today, for example, they liberated the city, but it's not officially actually officially said, but she knows because she actually knows from the first mouth this information. Oh, you muted.
Thank you. So my next question to Helena is about what are her views about Ukrainian people living here in Winnipeg, those who came with her or very contemporary in the month of July, August, September. So there are people coming and settling here in Canada. So what does she see about the information? Because things are changing in Ukraine, Ukrainian defense forces are gaining ground. So what kind of feelings and experiences that she sees of the people, those who have come here in Canada?
Ми хотіли запитати, які настрої в порівнянні з тим, що ви ті люди, котрі зараз прибувають, і то, що ви бачите в Канаді, як чи відповідає то, що ми слухаємо інформацію з джерел, і то, що говорять люди, котрі прибувають до Канади? Новоприбульці.
Дивіться, є різні люди, і з різних міст прибувають, і в кожного свої думки, в кожного, розумієте, хто був під бомбами, да? Хто жив в окупації, це зовсім все по-іншому, по-різному. В мене є знайома, ми познайомилися на роботі, і вона з окупаційного району, вона 2 місяці жила в окупації, і вона я не знаю, як це сказати, люди міняються, людей стрес, людей, я не знаю, як це правильно вам сказати. Тобто різні настрої, різні, всі за Україну.
Most people who are arriving from Ukraine and arriving here, they coming from different regions of Ukraine, what is actually noticeable. And a lot of people coming from the territories which are under occupation currently. And as Helena stated, she has a friend at her co-worker, and she was living in the territory which under occupation. But they have different opinion, but mostly of them who actually even newly arrived Ukrainians who come here to Canada, these Ukrainians, they are pro-Ukrainians and they are for Ukraine, because everybody wants this war be ended as soon as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going back to Marina now. Marina, this question is regarding Russian ethnic people living in Spain, or you might have met someone in Canada when you lived here for 5 years, as you mentioned. So, what do you see their stance on the war, their experience of information that they receive from mainland Russia? And do you see any dissonance, any difference in their ideas of understanding of the war on Ukraine? Oh, Marina, we can't hear you though.
Muted, you muted.
Uh,
We can hear you now. Right, go ahead.
okay. Um, I didn't meet Russian people in Canada, but I met some Ukrainian people, and it was even before the war started, and I noticed.
Marina, your voice got cut out.
Oh, uh,
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
okay, sorry. There are some people who still were like they still believe that Ukrainian and Russian they brothers countries even after this war started, and the problem is Putin and the government and everything. But I could see um their hate, like those soldiers, they have too much hate for Ukrainian people and people who live in Russia. Over 70%, they encouraging and they so agitating for this war, and they hate Ukrainians. And after this major bombing happened a couple days ago, all over Ukraine, the comments of Russians were uh, just uh, just terrible. They were so bad. They were happy that Ukrainians are dying, and they say keep it up, and they say this is only the beginning. This is not the end, and we're gonna keep doing this. And I don't understand who else would believe in brother countries after this.
Okay, that is understandable. In the war, information comes from various sources, and we have both opposing, views about the war itself and its justification. Marina, one of the last questions to you today is because again, I'm kind of relying on your experience living in Canada for nearly 5 years. What do you think that because of the war? The people that live in Canada of Ukrainian descent, they are subjected to propaganda or misinformation. How their lives are impacted because of the war. What do you see from that angle?
Uh, their life is their life affected that they afraid that they cannot attend their homes very soon because it's either destroyed or it's mined or underbombed or um, and many some friends there of them they died because of the war, or who were protecting our country, and um, and also I think the worst is just seeing about how many people are dying, uh, and it's all like in such a short period of time. Is this is the first like one of the most destructive wars from all the times, because no matter what happened before, like I understand about everything that was happening, but this many bombs was never dropped on any country in like such a short period of time, and it was all over the territory. Almost every region was hit in one day. Just uh, it was. Um, it never happened like this, never happened before, and even those corporate area, they say that because the world is not protected before, and they like so many countries they protect Ukraine so much and help. They very uh, angry about this, and they say that this is racist because of that. But I think they just should understand about
Mhm.
uh, the
Uh,
amount of people uh, who are dying, and just how like the problem it's very global, because
yes,
this threat it's threatening, like it's threatening the whole Europe. It's
absolutely. Marina, I just have a very simple, straight question to you before I move to Helena and sort of close the session today. Very simple, straight question to you. Do you think what Russia is currently doing is a genocide and crimes against humanity? Especially, I'm referring to the last missile attack in this week in response to Kursk bridge attack in Crimea. So, do you think so that Russia is a terrorist country and committing genocide in Ukraine?
yes, it's a terrorist state. Russia, it is a terroristic country, and all they do is terrorism, and all this bombing and threatening this nuclear bomb. It's the worst kind of terrorism, and they do genocide, and they try to kill Ukrainian people, and it it clearly shows uh, in how they just how they lead this war, how as Russian soldiers they just trying to humiliate Ukrainian people in every possible way. Like not even, I'm not saying only just with the killing, but other things they do is against every human right, not just human rights, but against the rules, uh, how war is supposed to be. Uh, uh, just
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Marina. Thank you. Uh, we understand your opinion about Russia committing almost clear-cut genocide here. So, moving back to Helena, and I need Karina's help too here. Karina, we are interested to understand question to Halina, of course, that the last question that I asked Marina. So, do you think, Halina, Russia is committing genocide and Russia is a terrorist state? Because that is what in some of the Western countries have raised the question, so that Russia cannot take part in UN Security Council, a decision-making process. So what do you think, Halina? Because you lived in Ukraine for most of your life. Yeah.
На вашу думку, як ви думаєте, Галина, чи являється Росія терористичною країною? Тому що бачачи це, тому що багато країн Європейського Союзу, і я думаю, і Америка так називає, що Росія є терористичною країною. Після цього всього, що трапилося, що ви можете сказати на вашу думку?
Звісно, це звичайно. Ви подивіться їхні ЗМІ, і ви подивіться, як вони не тільки ненавидять Україну, вони ненавидять весь світ. Ви подивіться, що вони говорять про Євросоюз, про Америку, що вони говорять. Вони расисти, вони ненависники, і причому це всі ЗМІ, звичайні люди. Якщо ви подивитеся просто звичайну якусь, є такі журналісти, які просто задають запитання, ходять по вулицях людям, звичайним пересічним людям. Вони питання, як ви ставитесь там до України, як ви ставитесь там до інших країн, там до Сполучених Штатів, до Німеччини, наприклад. І я слухаю так деколи, коли маю час, і я тільки чую один хейт, тільки ненависть. Росія сама краща, хоч вони живуть, скажімо так, не хочу говорити поганих слів, але вони живуть фактично дуже погано. Ці люди, які крали в нас унітази, я не можу сказати, що вони живуть дуже добре, правильно, як вони навіть не бачили унітазів. І вони будуть говорити, і вони всі говорять, що вони супер живуть, Путін молодець, а всі остальні це, країна терорист. Причому всі люди там терористи, там немає добрих людей. Хоч кажуть, є добрі русські, немає.
Yeah. Thank you. Дякуємо. After what is this, definitely, Halina says that Russia is a terrorist country because based on their mainstream media, you can hear only hatred against, hostility against Ukrainians. And Halina often watching survey because some people walking on the street in Russia and asked Russian people who actually walking by, and it's on display on TV, on internet, on this information. And ordinary people, do you supporting bombing Ukrainians? Do you supporting that? And actually, it's everything supported, and people really like that Ukrainians are bombed in Russia, and they are racist. They hate Europe. They hate United States. Like as Halina stated, it's really they gain against, because even what Halina was watching, some people was even stealing from the washroom toilets when it was like she was watching the news. What she actually sharing, and she said it's people who stealing toilet from the other country. She said it. I don't believe they living really well. They still live in bad, but they supporting the crimes against humanity in their country, against Ukrainian. They supporting this genocide in our country, and it's like not feeling any guilt for that, It's definitely Russia, it's like terrorist country, and they consider themselves kind of like superior above all countries, and they actually all strong countries and looking like really hostile against Europe, against American, about everybody, because everybody's enemies against Russia, and of course they actually right, and nobody is only Russia right, and everybody is wrong. What is this opinion coming from them?
Thank you. Absolutely, this is fascinating discussion. One of the last questions to Halina. Again, Karina, I need your help here. So the question to Halina is about the impact of the nuclear war and the threat that Russia is putting up almost daily basis for last couple of days. So, what do you think, Helena? This is something that very common in Russian media because you are watching some news possibly there. Do you see that the Russians really believe that Russia should use nuclear weapons because they are unable to capture or let's say destroy Ukrainian army so far? They are losing ground, as we know. So do you think that is really something Russians believe that is going to happen?
Дивлячись на ці останні новини, що ми проглядаємо, і бачачи, що Росія не може справитися з Україною, і зараз виникає загроза ядерної атаки на Україну. На вашу думку, як ви думаєте, чи може Росія використати ядерну зброю проти України?
Я думаю, так. Тому що йому вже нема що втрачати.
Galina said because if watching on this news and all this stuff, because Putin see that he cannot overcome Ukrainians, and of course he said he probably can use like nuclear weapons against Ukrainians because he doesn't have what to lose. It's just simply he doesn't have, because he used everything, but he couldn't conquer.
I see. So you are saying that Putin cannot afford losing Ukraine war, and that is why he might think of doing that. That's a very worrisome news today. So, dear audience, we are at the end of our session today. Before I leave and thank our guests for joining with us, my last question to both the guests today: what are their hopes and fears for the future? What do they think in terms of the war? And it is every war ends definitely, and with the cost of so much that we all know. So this war will also end sooner or later. But what do they think about their future, their families, their own careers, their own life, which were upended by the war itself? So my first, I would invite Marina to kindly say on this topic a little bit, and then I will switch to Helena.
Sorry, can you please repeat what how it will affect?
How it will end the war itself, and what do you think the future of Ukraine? What do you see from your point?
Honestly, I already like I was having different thoughts, and I was hoping for the best. Even when the war started, I was hoping for the best, that it will end very soon, but it doesn't seem to end very soon. And Putin, he just doesn't want to give up, even no matter how many army he lost already. He just doesn't want to stop this war. He wants more people for dying. Like, even I know that he doesn't receive. I have this information that he doesn't receive the right information about how many losses Russia has. And still he decided to partial mobilize Russian population. So many men just left the country, uh, but he still is trying to keep this war. I don't know why is this war. If he sees that he cannot win this war, I don't know why he keeps doing this. And I just don't even know what to expect, how it will end, like when it will end and how. but I'm sure that Putin lost already. He did not. He's not gonna win, but he already lost. And but what will happen next? I don't know what to expect after everything he has done already. I don't know what's next.
Thank Thank you. Thank you so much, Marina. We understand your pessimism about the war and its cost. So, Halina, same question to you. What are your hopes and fears for the future, and what do you think the war will end for all Ukrainian?
Які ваші побоювання, які ваші надії? Як ви думаєте, як війна ця може закінчитися для України?
Я думаю, ми виграємо, але ж якою ціною? Дуже багато хороших людей померло, дуже багато хороших людей зараз помирає, захисників, дівчат. Багато молодих людей, хлопців і дівчат пішло на захист України. Цвіт нації просто. Да, ми виграємо, але просто якою ціною?
Yes, I do believe that we will win this war. But how many people already died at the war? So many young men and women, girls, boys went to war and already died. And like it's actually more productive part of Ukrainians, like means young people, like but which price will pay for this war? That's it's like it's for sure. It's hope that this winning will be on the Ukrainian side, but which price?
The price of war, exactly. This is super important to understand that war will end, but at what cost? Ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely at the last part of our session. Before I take off, I would like to share some of the comments from one of our observer who was attending our session today. And I think that some of our comments are very interesting, and I'm going to flash it on the screen. She says that world community is not assisting Ukraine further to stop Putin, who is like Hitler. Russia must be prosecuted now for war crimes. And of course, the viewer also commented that the people in Russia have to rise up and protest their own government, and not be cowards and flee the country. And finally, I think this is what the viewer stated also, that Putin needs to be stopped. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the views shared by our audience during the session today. You will find all these comments in our YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, and the audience, we are going to close the session. But before I go, typically I do summarize our discussion. And today we have heard from Marina and Halina, who are from Ukraine. And Halina is living with us in Winnipeg now, and Marina was in Canada for a couple of years, and she is close to her family now. And both of them shared their concerns, their ideas about disinformation and misinformation, and how it is impacting their lives and their family lives. And many things are changing on ground in Ukraine, as we understand the shift of the battleground. The momentum is changing. Ukrainian military is gaining ground. They are taking one after another cities, and we all see it every day in major news channels. And on the backdrop, we have also seen Russia has bolstered their attack. This is the first time Kyiv has been hit multiple times in this week, including some of the the cities, as we have heard, Lviv, Chernihiv, and others. So what we are trying to understand, what is the impact of this information coming out of this war now, and how people are reacting to those information, because we have a large population of Ukrainian living here, and also Russian diaspora living here, and how these changing information are impacting their lives in terms of living together in Canada is our main focus of understanding. So thank you very much, Marina and Halina, for joining with us. And I'd also like to thank our consultant, Karina, for taking all the troubles to interpret and supporting this project. So best of luck, Marina, where you are staying now. Be safe, and we wish you best of luck for your family as well. And Halina, welcome to our great city of Winnipeg, our great country of Canada. Canada always supports and stands beside Ukraine in this devastating, unprovoked war waged by Russian Federation. Thank you so much. Till then, please tune in. Our next episode will be very soon, and Project Idea is ongoing. And today we would like to also invite Halina and her friends, those who are living in Winnipeg, to kindly consider coming into our workshops, which is going to start from 21st of October. And we are going to have our artificial intelligence tools developed by our research support group, and is also going to empower people to use it to find out fake information and disinformation from various social media sites. So my welcome to Ukrainian and Russian diaspora to kindly attend our workshops. You will be benefited, and we are definitely going to discuss many other aspects on Ukraine war. Thank you so much. Stay well, and good night from Conflict and Resilience Research Institute, Canada. Bye-bye.